What's up, everybody? We are back. It's Friday. I think we're missing the dude missing.
Yeah, it was Renzo.
Oh man, you know we got a client out in Escondido. He's got to be out there and take care of this special job out there. We got some coding and some other things going on. So unfortunately, folks, we do not have Renzo here with us today. So we got a good relief pitcher coming in.
There we go.
Angelito.
There we go, Angelito.
Mr. Angel right here. So we're going to go ahead and start going through some questions. I think we're going to be talking about some bathroom stuff today. So hopefully you guys will be informed. And if you guys, if you ever have any questions or comments, just down below, let us know what's going on. But we're going to go ahead and start off with...
perfect. Question number one, guys. Who designs my bathroom remodel? The contractor or the architect?
Well, it depends. So let's say if you got a little bit of money, you're gonna have you'd have like an architect or an interior designer or something like that. Most people, the contractor does. Now, obviously, it just depends on how nice you want the project to come out.
Okay.
So some of those projects, depending if they're like big, if you're pulling permits, not pulling permits, what you're changing around and different things. But if let's say you're pulling a permit, you at least have to get some type of a drawing done to turn it into the city. And so that drawing will, you have to follow that drawing. You don't usually necessarily need an architect if it's a small, but let's say you're taking down a wall, opening it up and stuff like that. You're going to need an architect so that he can draw it up and put in, what type of framing and that type of stuff. Switching it around, designer's good for colors and doing all that stuff. And then most of your contractors will know somewhat what to do, but they're not all. It depends on what contractor you get to do that type of stuff.
So if I'm not if I'm not moving a wall down, don't get an architect.
I probably wouldn't. Usually you're bringing in an architect if you're like taking walls down and you're moving stuff around and doing all that. Then you bring like an architect or a designer in. But most of the time, I tell them, hey, go on Google Images.
Find the bathroom.
Yeah, find the bathroom you like, and then we kind of put it together. And then it's basically based on square footage. Most of your bathrooms are going to be 5 to 6 feet wide and anywhere from 7 to 8 feet long. Because you fit your tub in, but you want to make sure you have your tub, your shower, or just a full shower. You need your toilet and your single vanity, double vanity, and then whatever your mirrors and stuff. So a lot of it is just kind of the little design, like the colors, the moldings, what this is going to look like, what you want your bowl. But there's not really a lot you can do into a bathroom, though. It's kind of a small.
I use Pinterest. They have really good designs on Pinterest.
Pinterest. Even on our website, we have something that will say, hey, just go right onto Pinterest and we can make it happen. We can make your dreams happen, bro.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Question number 2. What happens if a contractor remodels my bathroom without a permit?
I would say, if you don't get caught, you're good. But really, you're supposed to be pulling a permit, even if you're changing out a faucet. A faucet. So anything to do with electrical, anything to do with plumbing. Now, nobody, I would say bathrooms that get remodeled, you would probably think about 60%, if not higher, get remodeled without any type of a permit because you're working inside. So you might get unlucky and have an inspector drive by and be like, oh, what are you guys doing there? And like stop your job. But, most of it's done without permits. Yeah. But, if you're changing stuff around, I'd recommend having a permit on there because you do want to make sure that the plumbing's flowing correctly. You're not having any electrical problems. You have enough, electrical outlets. The correct outlets, GFI outlets. There's some other type of like ceiling fans that test the humidity. So there's some different types of things in there that it would be nice to have a permit. And what a permit does is also has them to come out and take a look. So yes, you should be pulling a permit when you're doing a bathroom, but I would say most often they're not pulling a permit because it takes time, it's extra money. It's usually $600, $700, $800 just to get a permit, and then nowadays it's taking a few months, even on a little small thing to get a permit.
Because of the COVID situation.
Because of COVID in the cities, and everything's all backwards, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a neighbor that hates me, so I would definitely have to pull a permit.
Yeah, for your fence?
Yeah.
Fence issue?
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started.
Don't get you started.
Don't get me started.
You don't want to blast your neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor.
He's trying to make your house better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes when we're doing projects, they're like, "Oh, hey, I'm doing a little something. Do I need to pull a permit?" And the first thing I ask them
you like your neighbor
is, "How are your neighbors?" And then they're like, "Oh, we don't get along. Oh, we're pulling a permit," because the first thing they're gonna do is when they see the truck pull up,
they call.
Yeah. So if you're like, make sure you guys get along with your neighbors. If you don't, then pull the permit, bro, because you will get stopped. And then once you're stopped, then you're like in the middle of it. So it's stopped, and then now you got to start pulling it. Yeah. And now let's say if you've torn everything out. Now you're in the middle of it, having to wait. And then it's not like they take your house away or anything. I've gotten probably 4 jobs stopped in my whole 30-year lifetime. And then in one of them, they gave me a fine. It was like $200 or whatever. So don't freak out. You just go in there and make sure that it all gets done correctly.
So like if you're just like retiling, changing the vanity of that same exact spot, putting a new shower tub.
Yeah, no. I mean, technically, if you change your ceiling fan, you're supposed to, technically if you change a garbage disposal, anything to do with electrical or plumbing. But, really it's like if it's I'm replacing in the same spot, you can kind of go fight it at the city, but you still have the connections and all that stuff you're doing.
The city's just trying to make extra money.
Well, yeah, but it is some safety issues because let's say they don't tie in the plumbing correctly, and boom, you're gonna have a leak, or you could just have it all go everywhere. Let's say you didn't do your even just an outlet. An outlet can burn your house down and stuff like that. So you don't want. I always say your 3 main things you want to have done right and well would be plumbing, electrical, and your roof. Those 3 things, because the roof protects the house. Electrical, you don't want it to burn the house, and you don't want to come home and have a flood in your house. Even dishwashers have not been connected correctly. It turns on, and you come home, and there's just water all over all over the house. Or washers.
And then you got to deal with mold and stuff.
Yeah, mold, and you're calling your insurance company, and then you can't live there for a while. So
that's tough. Let's go on. Next question: Can you LED lights or Bluetooth speakers in my bathroom? Can you put LED lights or Bluetooth speakers in my bathroom?
I mean, that's nice. That's all energy efficient. Right now, they got Bluetooth toilets. They got Bluetooth
toilets.
I'm messing with you. You're like, toilet, wipe me. And then a little hand comes up.
Like a bidet. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. A little bit of water comes out of there.
Yeah.
No, but you have like the Bluetooth lights that you could turn on. There's a Bluetooth sound system.
Yeah, my neighbor did one where he did it for his grandmother. He had one of those walk-in tubs.
Yeah.
And he put everything, it was everything tile. It looked really, really nice. And then he had like a speaker with a light, Bluetooth, and a humidifier.
Yeah.
He's like, look at the music. And he plays the music on and stuff. It was really nice.
So
and the bathtub changes colors.
Oh, I haven't seen that one before.
Like blue, red, yellow, and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really neat, man.
I had one. No, I had a cool Bluetooth one. Now that I'm reminded that we did over here in Norwalk, where it was a Bluetooth mirror, right? And so then the mirror had the temperature, and then it, right on the sides of the mirror, you can see the temperature that it is inside, outside, the humidity. It had little news feeds, and
wow.
Yeah, and then it connected
crazy
to your and it was and it was kind of. You couldn't see it until you turned actually the mirror on, and it was it had a light come through. It was I think it was a $600 or $700 mirror.
Wow!
But you do have to when you're doing that, you do have to run a special electrical line and running back to the mirror. Oh yeah! So we had to let her know, hey man, we were just charge you to put in a normal mirror, and then we had to run electrical and stuff back there. But I mean, everything's getting Bluetooth. You're gonna be able to just even now when you come home, you can go on your Bluetooth and have your
all the lights
and your temperature, all that type of stuff done on there on Bluetooth. Getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. Sometimes when I don't want to get up and turn off my TV, I just say, "Hey Google, turn off my TV," and it turns off.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Bluetooth.
I remember 6 years ago, I was going to Disneyland, and they had the Land of Tomorrow today.
Yeah.
And they had the Innovation House, where everything's just all animated, and pretty soon we're gonna be living like the Jetsons.
Yeah, that'll be tight.
It'll
be scary.
Yeah,
because what they say. The AIs will be taking over. We'll be the end of the world's coming, folks.
There you go. Next question: what happens if I finance my bathroom remodel, but I can no longer afford it?
Okay. Oh, all right. So there's a couple different types of financing. So, if you have a secured financing that's secured to the house. They can put a lien on the house, right? And then you have some unsecured, which is, we kind of found out that it is unsecured, where it's like, oh, they don't have it attached to the house, but really they're going to want to get their payment at one point. Yeah. Now, they won't come and like take the house away, but if you ever go to like sell your house and then you owe them some money, they're going to want to get paid from their money. But they literally can't, you're not allowed to go in and take out fixed, what's called fixed property. Okay. So it's not like you have a windows or you have a toilet. It's not like a car where they can come pick up your car and take it back. So they can't come into your house and go, oh, I'm taking your toilet out. I'm taking the tub out that I put in.
The bathroom repo man.
Yeah, no, bathroom repo man. The doo doo repo man ain't coming in to take care of the house. No. So and they can't like take the parts out. They can't really, let's say, take your house away unless it's a type of loan that is attached to the house, which a lot of them are not. But you could have that on until you sell the house or something, because if somebody's doing some work, they want to get paid. And then a lot of that's happened to me before, where I did a job and she was expecting that she was going to get a loan and she didn't. And then I just said, hey, can you just pay me? I think it was at that time, I think it was like $800 a month. So she just like, all right. So she gave me $800 a month for like 10 months or something like that. She owed me like $8,000, and it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I was like, I figured might as well get some than none. Yeah. And then she was like, okay. She didn't want to burn me. She just, it ended up happening. She was almost 100% sure she was going to get it, and something just fell through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it happens.
So we do in-house financing now.
Hey, man, when it gets to that, this is my theory. You just got to figure it out with the client the best you can. Hey, a little credit card here, there, whatever you can do to try to just, resolve it. Then it's business, man. Yeah. It's not always going to go smooth.
No, I understand. Next one, is there a specific time of year that it's better to remodel my bathroom?
For bathrooms, no. I mean, the worst thing about the bathroom is that, especially if you only have one bathroom, you're not going to have a bathroom. So let's just say sometimes people make a makeshift bathroom outside, even with like a hose or a little heater scene. So if it's a little bit colder, then maybe if you're going to go outside to be doing some of that stuff, so maybe during the summer, but really it's not like painting, where you don't want it to be wet when you're painting, right?
Or like, a lot of people do roofs during the winter time because they're leaking. Yeah. They get windows installed during the summer. Yeah. Because it's hot.
Yeah. So there are certain, but things on the inside, not too much. Maybe like the summer with if the kids are in school or out of school, they're going to be using it. So if you're using, a lot of times people do the showers and stuff at the gyms. Mm-hmm. So if you have certain times where you're going to go to the gym, like a lot of people right before the summer start going to the gym, and then after the summer they kind of lay off a little bit. Yeah. So, but really it's indoors, so it kind of really doesn't matter if, whether the weather doesn't have too much to do with it. Your guys, and let's say if it's raining or something like that, they should have their, take their shoes off when they're working inside, and they should have the area that they're working in all covered up and all sealed up. If you're doing a bathroom, let's say where it's open, and then you're changing walls and you might have some open area, then just make sure that the guys put plastic up on top so you don't have rain, and they staple it in there. On there. So, but really, you don't have too much of a difference.
Is there a certain time of year where like bathroom prices go down?
No, not really. I think it's across the board. It may fluctuate a little bit on some of the exterior stuff, because what will happen is just price and demand. So let's say during the winter, it's probably not the best time to be doing a roof, or especially after it's a big rain. Everybody's calling roofers at that time. So stay in front of the problem, and you'll probably at least save yourself 5% and up to 20%, because once the roofers are going, I got 20 phone calls, and you're going to go to 20 houses. Either you're going to get booked up, or you're going to be like, you know what, I'm getting too busy, I'm going to have to raise my prices. And it's not just one roofer everyone's calling. The whole industry's getting getting crazy. So like on roofing and stuff like that, that one's probably the one that gets the most affected. But for any of the other stuff, not too much.
So I know like during Labor Day and Memorial Day, like Home Depot and Lowe's, they give out really good deals.
Yeah, so now for buying appliances and that type of stuff, that's good to get, for that. But labor-wise, for the contractor, it really doesn't change. So for buying stuff, but you got to remember most of in the state of California, contractor needs to provide you an estimate for labor and material, right? So usually what we do is do the labor and material, and then we'll give you an allotment sheet. And it'll say, okay, you can get up to this and that. And then even then, if the customers, if it's during that time, if they just bought it, they can just buy it, save me the receipt, and I'll reimburse them. Reimburse it back to them. But that's a good point. That on those that's a good time to get
Labor Day, Memorial Day. I always see that on
Christmas sale or whatever, something like that. To get those get the barbecues.
Get
the indoor barbecue for your bathroom.
Indoor barbecue. There you go.
Yeah, bro, you could be crapping and cooking at the same time.
Right, you don't gotta move, huh?
Yeah, there, just boom.
Next question: can I add multiple showers or sinks, or is it limited to the size of the bathroom?
Well, we've done multiple showers plenty of times where they had a shower head coming out here and a shower head coming up from the top. I have some to where the big showers where we put one on one side and one on the other. There's other type of showers where it's a long. I forgot what they're called, but it's a long shower and it has probably like 4 to 5 different ones. You can turn them different ways. And then sinks, there's a single sink, a double sink. I've never done a triple sink on there, but so the double vanity. And so just depending on how big your bathroom is what's going to count on there, because I want a double sink, but you're gonna have 2 sinks and no counter space sometimes. So you need to have like a minimum amount of 5 to 6 feet to be able to install like a double sinks, and so that they can fit and have countertops and have enough space for storage. It's basically what you want to have. But so it comes down to space is really what you want for bathrooms, because they're not really that big most of the time.
There's not like a legal so much space, you got to have so many shower heads.
There is legal, like you legally have to have like 30 inches where you're sitting on your toilet. Okay. So that you're sitting on your toilet, you don't have something one right next to each other, and you're not like squeezing into a little area in between a wall, and so there are some like per se legal stuff that you want to have when you're like setting in the toilet. There's some legal stuff, like let's say a window has to be tempered. You have to have a shower that has to be a minimum of 3 feet by 3 feet, so that you can get in there. So there are some minimum requirements that need to be done. Okay,
that's good. Good to know. Next question: can I make my new bathroom half indoor and half outdoor?
I've done that before. Yeah. So sometimes, let's say you have the bathroom, and then I've had it like a clear glass on the outside of it, and that glass like slides, and then you can get out. Another time I did it, the outside went on to like a patio. I don't know if it was like an atrium area, and the whole atrium area there it had like the bathroom here, and then it was just all open, and then the outside had kind of like a sitting area out there, and then it was all bushes and just stuff. So it had like a privacy, but it was all privacy around. So it was kind of a sitting area connected with the bathroom. It was super cool. It went from like tile, and the tile would stop, and then the outside had really nice pavers, and it had like a little sitting kind of area in there, and like there was a clear shower where it was just like a seamless shower, and then it had like the toilet, so it was kind of like so the guy
was that in Mexico?
No, that was in Cuba. But in Cuba, it's just because they didn't have no roof. Money. No, this was actually I did in Hollywood Hills. Right. And so the guy was like, using the bathroom or whatever, and he'd be in his robe, and he'd just like kind of walk out, read his paper, have his coffee, his little throne area.
Wow.
Where, he's like,
this nature, huh?
Yeah, it was out in nature, and there was a bunch of trees and stuff. And then Brandon was even telling me he was at Airbnb, and out in Marietta or something like that. Yeah, and it was kind of a dual. It's rare to see because you want to have it. You want to make sure it's all private. Yeah.
But a lot of people are open these days.
Yeah. Especially in Ojai, there's a community in Ojai of like some I don't know what you call them, nudists or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they don't
even care at all.
Yeah, well, we were doing a job in Ojai, and the nudists were next door, and usually that job would take about like 3 days to do with our guys. It took like 3 weeks. I'm like, guys, can you guys hurry up over there?
Busy. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot to see. Next question: how can I prevent mold from growing in my new bathroom?
You make sure mold grows typically when you have no ventilation, right? So you want to make sure that your ceiling exhaust fan is working. Make sure that you got it updated. Those old ones, they don't suck up anymore. Make sure it's clear. Other reasons you get mold are because, let's say when it rains from the outside, the windows aren't sealed or something on the outside. Maybe it could be a roof leak. And then your other big mold is usually through your fixtures. Okay. Yeah, so you have your spout or something like that. Behind there, you can get mold. Your mixer, where you kind of put the hot and cold water, that's called a mixer. That could be leaky. So make sure that your plumbing is updated and all sealed off. Your shower heads. A lot of times you don't see the mildew and mold that's been through a leak. You don't see it, but it's inside of your walls, and then it kind of grows through, and then you go to clean it. You're like, oh, it's all cleaned it with bleach, and then you come back in like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you're like, it's back here again. Or the moisture, like your bathroom isn't sealed and it's raining outside, and then the moisture kind of gets from the moisture from the outside and finds the mold, and you see it come back. Faucets and stuff that are leaking, you can get mold inside of the cabinets, inside of in the ground. A lot of times when we pull up tubs or we pull up a tile, you can see the mildew and mold. If there's some chemicals that you can get to kind of neutralize that, but most of the time that's a reoccurring problem if you don't take care of the problem. Or if you don't have a ceiling fan or a ceiling exhaust, you want to make sure that your windows are open. Yeah. And then stop taking them 30-minute hot showers. Yeah,
my son's bathroom, he gets a lot of mold in
his
bathroom, but he takes hot showers and they're long. Right? So sometimes you got to change that because it's a small one. A lot of homes don't even have them, but if it's a small one, it just doesn't have enough power and they're older, so you just got to go to your local contractor store and go get yourself a $150 $250 exhaust fan, and whoop, go pull a permit for another $50.
Yeah, another $50. You know what I mean? Oh, and they also work really well for the smell, bro. So if you have one of them dangerous dookies,
oh wow,
yeah, you put one of those suckers on, start blowing all this stuff.
Now, when I go to the bathroom, it smells like flowers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have one of flower booties.
The flower booties.
The rosebud booties.
There we go. Next question is, what are the different types of tiles that go best with the modern shower?
Really, I mean, a lot of the people are doing the subway tiles a lot right now.
What are subway tiles?
Just a little. Actually, it's weird because the subway tiles were very popular, like in the 20s and 30s. So now it's the modern look. So everything, bell bottoms come back, and everything comes back. In the 50s, they had the little tight, skinny jeans and all, and those come back, right? So now. Just the same thing, subway tiles. And so that's the little tiles are usually like maybe 3 inches by like 6 inches. Sometimes you stagger them to make them look like a brick pattern. A lot of times they come in white, and they're called subway tiles. I think I read about this because like in New York, you see a lot of the subways have those little types of tiles.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so sometimes they do the subway tiles on there. Right now, some of the modern ones are stacking the tiles. Even they're still kind of that maybe these ones are like 6 inches by like 12, and they kind of stack them. So that's kind of modernizing them. A couple different things. Using kind of some of the bigger tiles on the floors are real nice. In the showers, having the little pattern tiles, glass tiles are real popular right now. But like I said, either Pinterest. A lot of times people are like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, go on Pinterest, go on Google Images, put in modern bathroom, and then show me. And then there's a couple of different places. I love Floor and Decor. I think they have a really good selection, reasonable prices in there. So, but I have a lot of my people kind of go in there and just having the designer, the contractor kind of knowing what they're doing and letting you, with their opinions also, but letting you get what you want and not for, a lot of guys, do this tile or do here, and they're giving you what they want. Yeah, so you want to have some, for it. Yeah, you want to have your input. Sometimes my customers will give my input. I might not even agree. I'll say, I'll give you my honest opinion, but you're the customer. I'll do what you want. Just sign here.
Sign here.
You have to sign here because at the end it's gonna be on you. Once you put up that tile, it's on. It's done. Yeah, and then your other thing is they have combinations. So let's say on the wall you might do a 12-inch or a 6-inch tile. Then on the flooring. Maybe let's say if it's a shower, you do the smaller one so you don't slip, and then on the whole rest of the restroom, you do another tile. And then now they even have modern looking, like wood looking tile, or now they have even flooring that looks like hardwood flooring, but it's a vinyl.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's vinyl flooring and it's waterproof. So your porcelain tiles are going to be better than your ceramic tiles. They hold up a lot better for the moisture on there. And then there's even what's called the wainscoting, which goes halfway up the wall. They do that in a tile. So you take your tile up to the in your showers in your bath all the way up to the ceiling, and then you can do it like half of the walls. It's a lot of tile, but if you mix it in and match it in real nice, and then sometimes even I've switched the tiles. Instead of having them going sideways, I've moved them up to make the room look.
Shape.
Well, like let's say a lot of times they do it in the brick pattern. Well, I've moved them sideways, and I've moved the subway tiles going. Yeah, and so it makes the room look a little bit higher. Painting your ceilings white makes it a little bit more modern. Keeping them the white and grays are a little bit more modern. So there's so many different options with tile and colors and cabinets and all that stuff. Yeah, you can go. It can sometimes be overwhelming.
Yeah. You just answered the question and I feel overwhelmed. There you go. Next question we got. What do you do if my contractor can't find an electrician or a plumber? Do I find one myself?
Sometimes there are contractors that are like, hey, we only do this. I mean, we're a full service contractor. We can, start from beginning to design to all the way till the end to the last, brush stroke goes on there. But sometimes there are contractors that are like, hey, you get your electrician and you get your plumber, but now you kind of become the general contractor and the blame game starts. I've even had that happen with some of my guys where like, the electrician came in and he was supposed to do that, I just had that happen with they were replacing some fascia boards. So the roofers went out there, replaced the fascia boards, and the painters went out there, and then the customer's like, well, who's gonna fix these nail holes and all this stuff? And I called the roofer. The roofer's like, well, that's your painter supposed to do that. And the painter's like, well, why didn't the roofer put this in correctly and, caulk this in right here? So, you got to be careful because the blame game starts happening. Or also what will happen is, let's say they did the plumbing and the electrical, and then you put in your nice cabinet, did all your work, and then the plumbing leaks or something like that. Then the customer's calling you and you're like, no, I didn't do it. Or they're seeing mildew and mold. They're like, that has nothing to do with my grout. And so it's kind of the blame. It's called split responsibility, really. And so if you can get somebody that does it all, that's a lot better. If anything happens, you know who to pick up the phone and call just the one guy to do that.
So find someone that takes responsibility for the whole entire job instead of piecing it out.
Yeah, if you can. Well, but some people are like, I have a cousin who's an electrician and a plumber. He'll do that, and then I'll do the rest. But then now you're waiting for...
Yeah, to finish the project. That's never a good idea to hire family. Never a good idea.
You're like, my cousin's gonna be here. Like you do your work, and my cousin's gonna be here on Saturday. I'm like, it's Tuesday. Well, he works during the day. He's gonna do a little bit here at night, so it kind of disrupts the contractor, the flow, and it's just gonna take longer to get
more time
to get the job done. Yeah.
So just find one person that does everything.
If you could,
the best.
If you got the money.
The best.
And you also kind of become the general contractor where you're like, okay, well, this schedule here, that schedule here, this is here, and you're kind of moving the pieces around. And if something ever happens also with your insurance company or whatever, you're like, hey, Family Home Improvements did this job. And so then like, you can get some ramifications with that. Whereas you have your just whatever plumber and electrician, that might not happen.
Wow. Okay.
Well, thank you.
I think we got one more, bro.
We just answered it.
Was that the one we answered? All right, guys. Well, thank you, guys. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. We're here with we got our substitute in. I think you did a great job, bro.
Thank you.
I like the questions that you were asking me. You know, a lot of times, I have stuff in my head, but someone else is kind of going back and forth, remind you of some certain things that customers have even asked you that you forget about. So appreciate that. Hey, come by, check us out next week or whatever. If you like us, subscribe. Let some people know. If you guys have any comments, let us know. If you need some estimates, we can come out and give you estimates. We're experts at what we do. We've been doing this for 30 years. So thank you very much.